the a-hole for exposing my toxic neighbor's double life, ruining her engagement, and cutting her off after years of manipulation. So let me introduce Aria, 24 female, my ex-friend and next-door neighbor. Aria, on the surface, is perfect. She's tall, fair-skinned, beautiful, the kind of girl people instantly notice. But here's the problem. Aria is a manipulative, narcissistic, victim-playing nightmare. She always finds a way to make herself the victim, even when she's the one at fault. For a while, when it was all about small things, I tolerated it. But then, last October, everything blew up. The affair with the married man and the insanity that followed. One afternoon, Aria showed up at my house crying hysterically. I was in the middle of my house chores when she suddenly hugged me, sobbing uncontrollably. I thought something serious had happened. Maybe someone hurt her. Maybe there was a tragedy. Nope. She finally said,
I have to tell you something.
And then she dropped a bombshell. She's been having an affair with her boss, a man at least 10 years older than her, married, with 2 kids at home. Okay. She knows that, I'm assuming. Now, you'd think she'd at least admit that this was a mess, but no, she painted it as some sort of tragic love story. According to her, this man told her things like,
I don't love my wife. Being intimate with my wife feels like I'm with a lifeless corpse. I'd leave her for you.
But he didn't, did he? This is the thing about getting involved with someone who's in a relationship. When things go wrong, which they inevitably will, like this will never be like the happy ending that you're picturing it. It will be messy in more ways than one. I'm sorry, but I have no sympathy. Like, I really don't. And Aria, she was actively pushing him to divorce his wife. But here's where it gets even crazier. They had a backup plan. If he couldn't divorce his wife, they planned to have her marry his brother-in-law so Aria could keep seeing him while living in the same house. Who devised this plan? Because this doesn't seem very smart. Oh, you could just marry a spare and cheat on him with me. Perfect! And also couldn't divorce his wife. If he really wanted to divorce his wife, he would. It's not that simple though. Like sometimes when you read all these things, you're like, why don't you just get divorced? It's a lot more complicated than that. Divorces get ugly. They take half of everything you own if you don't have a prenup. Even when you have a prenup. Sometimes there's, courts that will say, sorry, this is unconscionable. They owe you, half of everything. That's why you gotta be very careful who you marry. So eventually his wife found out, not surprising. She called Aria, told her to back off, and the guy suddenly stopped talking to her. Now instead of moving on, Aria brought all this drama into the office. She was making sad faces, throwing tantrums, crying in front of everyone. Okay, this is like a really big problem. I'm sorry. Like I can just picture this being like, because he's the boss, so she could like essentially say, oh, he had power over me, etc. This is an HR nightmare, I'm just saying. Eventually her senior manager, who didn't know about the affair, suggested she take a break, but she kept pushing. She'd call the guy at night, text him and his wife, beg him to come back. Things escalated, and one day her boss finally told her to stay home for a month. That's when she ran to my house again, crying like the world was ending. I tried to calm her down, telling her to focus on her exams and take a break as an opportunity to relax, but she refused to let go. Some days she'd be like,
I don't need him.
The next day she'd be sobbing.
I need him back.
It was a cycle of obsession. I understand that maybe she loves the guy. You kind of dug your own grave here, Aria. Nothing good can come from something like this. You got involved with a married man. 9 times out of 10, the married man is going to choose his wife and children. It's just too difficult. Maybe he wants to have his cake and eat it too, and he was saying those things because he wanted to be able to have the affair. But in my view, this dude was never going to leave his wife. One day, she snapped. He made me cry. I'll ruin his life. And that's when I realized I was dealing with someone dangerous. Ooh, no, I simply can't no more. Tell me everything. The serial dating and gold digging phase. To keep her from doing anything crazy, I started taking her out shopping, to dinner, for fun. But one thing I noticed, she never wanted to pay. If I paid, everything was great, but the moment she had to pay, she'd ask for my share later. At the same time, she was juggling 1, trying to get back with her ex from 2021, 2, seeking 2 different guys on the side and up with them, 3, emotionally manipulating a guy in London, pretending they were in a relationship when he had no idea. Yes, she was in a relationship in her head. Ooh, this girl is boy crazy. The hair appointment that started a war. Her bike broke down and she asked to borrow mine. I told her, fine, but I have a hair appointment at 10 a.m. so I need it back by 9:30. She agreed. The next morning, I might be late. I told her I couldn't change my plans and suddenly she exploded. Screaming over text, calling me selfish, saying I never bend for anyone. Ugh, the fact that you live near this person. Ugh. I ignored her, left for my appointment, and enjoyed my day. She showed up at my house, banging on my door, screaming and breaking my doorbell. I told her to leave, she refused, and at that moment, I snapped. I slapped her across the face. Oh no. And I wear gemstone rings. That slap left a mark. Fast forward to January 2025, her parents, fed up with her, arranged a marriage for her. And guess what? The guy she chose was one of my old college seniors. He came to visit her house, saw my car, and realized I lived there. Excitedly, he called me. Hey, funny coincidence. I'm marrying someone from your society. When he said Arya's name, I had two choices. Save out of it or save my friend from hell. I told him everything. I mean, it wasn't your business, but is it really gossiping if you're just warning people? You're just sharing the facts. You saved him. His family hired a private investigator. They found out even more dirt than I knew. The wedding was called off. Arya lost her mind. She blamed me for ruining her life, trashed me in front of everyone, and told people I was jealous of her. Much to be jealous of, babe. Jealous of what? A serial cheater who ruined her own life? So, am I the a-hole for slapping my toxic ex-friend, cutting her off, and telling my friend the truth before he married her? Or should I just have let her continue down her path of destruction? I mean, it would be one thing if you sabotaged it with information that wasn't true. It's an entirely different thing that all you did was tell the truth and warn someone. I mean, I'd definitely want to know if someone I was about to marry, was in a relationship with a married man, obviously didn't think cheating was a big deal, behaved this way, serial cheater, serial dater. I'd want to know these things. And then if he finds all these things out and he still wants to marry her, then there's no sweat off your back, right? You did what you were supposed to do. And believe me, there are some people who would suck it up and continue dating that person or marrying that person. She sounds like she's unhinged, and because you slapped her, that could come back to hurt you. Some people really do need to slap. Really, they do. I think a lot of the world's problem would be solved if you could just slap someone. From a legal sense, we shouldn't be slapping people. From a moral sense as well. So, are you the a-hole for exposing your toxic neighbor's double life, ruining her engagement, and cutting off her after years of manipulation? No. But don't slap people. I get it. Violence is never the answer.